So welcome everybody to our February Business Clinic. We chose the online route, one, to make it accessible to a larger audience. And because of the current economic situation in Nigeria, where we have the cash crunch, I fondly call the Uko cash syndrome, then the level of insecurity we're having. Uko cash means shortage of cash for our brothers who do not speak Igbo, yes. Then the insecurity we're facing now, and then for the cash crunch, really mainly, so that everyone who has access to data can also access the information we are about to share, the knowledge they're about to gain, and then the possibilities which is out there for them to explore. So thank you everyone for bringing out time, especially now and on a Sunday. I hope that this will be a beneficial program for everyone, and for our speakers mainly who have brought out their time to be here. I'm hoping that you find this community one that you would want to keep mingling with and extending your time and opportunities to. So thank you very much. I've met with Kachi. I hope Udoka is here so he can continue with the others. So Izud?
Yes.
Okay, so what's up with Udoka?
I think he's still struggling to join back. Seems like he's updating his app.
Okay, Udoka is actually the moderator of this event. I am only filling in the seat. Okay, let me talk about the Enugu startup community. The community is based in Enugu, comprising businesses in different industries, having different area of focus. We have people in tech, people who leverage tech, and people who are new to tech, people who also do not use tech for their daily transactions and interfacing with customers. So our aim is to, one, harness the opportunities and develop the ecosystem within Enugu especially, and then extending it to Southeast. We know we have the challenges of being in the face of our customers or getting out word to our customers about our services. So challenges we've had from interaction with the community that have been operating sometimes in silos, like the Enugu startup and tech community. Okay, I'm seeing that my video is paused. I hope it's not so from your end. Okay, so the challenges people have with reaching out to customers, especially after the advent of the COVID-19. We've been having meetings trying to support businesses to leverage technology and also to bring businesses that are not using tech into the community of the tech startups. So we've had a maiden event in December where we brought them together and it was a huge success. So an outcome of that session was people asking for more. Let's make it a more frequent event where we'll have not just the men in tech, women in tech come out, and let's see how we can synergize and then reach out to other people who are practicing, people who are providing solutions to the community or within their own community. I come from a community of 7 women, and most of them are not leveraging tech. We've tried to train them on the basics, try to give them tools that they can use to bring out their solutions to the face of people. But then we also need people who are practicing, people who are implementing to come in as solution providers and also to make their solutions affordable to these women, especially those who are into petty trading. So that is a little bit of our history. We have 7 businesses who are piloting the Enugu startup community, and I'm hoping they will also beat the challenges we're having with our our network here and join in this call. So we are on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter as Enugu Startups. I'm hoping we just opened it, so you may not see so much on our channels. Our website will soon be up. It's enugustartups.com. So I'm hoping you'll be able to join us as we provide content and solutions to Enugu and Southeast Nigeria. Thank you. Udoka, welcome back. Udoka.
Yes, I'm here. Sorry,
Okay, please.
I had some difficulty trying to rejoin. Thank you
Yeah,
for.
we know.
I think I got. Yeah, I think I got the last part of the um, announcement. So hey, it's great to
Yes,
have.
I'm done.
Okay, wonderful. I think it's great to be here to host this startup virtual startup clinic of the Enugu State Tech and Startup Community, and it's quite a thing of pleasure and honor to be the one to do the intro and talk about the powerful individuals we have in the house today as guest speakers. And they normally would say ladies first. But I want to first confirm that we have Barrister Dozie in the house. Hi, D. What's up? He's muted. You're muted, sir.
Hi, everyone. Nice to be here.
Makes sense. You're welcome, sir. I was supposed to have Barrister Abia in the house. I don't know if he's here yet.
So I'm here. I don't know. I think I'm joining with my Pyramid Law account. So my video will be up shortly.
Okay, that's great. Thank you for joining us. So I'm here. I'm going to do the honors now to run a brief intro of our guest speakers in the house. There are a whole lot of big guys who are entrepreneurs doing great stuff in the audience. Call them special features if you like. We'll have Green Age in the building, and I know if I hope open the list, we'll see a few. We'll see many others. We have One Stack Izuchukwu. I don't know if he has made he has said anything on this event yet. But hey, anyways, we have great people in the building. I'll just go forward to introduce. First of all, like I said, ladies first. We have Kachi, who is the founder of AI Movement. She is a tech entrepreneur. She's a tech entrepreneur. She's a businesswoman, and she's practicing attorney in the United States. I would love to say that she's a Harvard grad. So she's a graduate of Emory University with an MSc from Purdue University and a Juris Doctorate from Harvard Law School. Yes, and she has also ventured and excelled in different business fields, including client investments, insurance brokerage, midstream crude oil haulage, and she's currently the CEO, like Avela said, of AI Movement, a startup tech company located in Enugu, Nigeria. I think I like to call that a tech hub that just got started in Enugu State, Nigeria, more or less, having operations like more like an accelerator. Kachi, welcome to the building. Is it Kasi Ayasile? Did I pronounce it well?
Yes, it's Kachi Agasiri. But correction, yeah, we're twofold. So you can call us a hub, but we're also a company because very soon we're going to have our products being rolled out as well. So yeah.
Perfect. But it seems like your product is basically for the startups, right?
Not really. So we are working on a healthcare app, basically that's powered by AI, and it will be catered to the medical profession and medical fields in Nigeria, starting from the southeast.
Okay, perfect. All right, it's great to have you here. Thank you for being with us
Thank
here.
you.
All right, perfect. We also have in the building as one of our guest speakers, my man, Chidozie Chukwujuba Nwago. He's an expert in immigration law with 5 years post-call experience in Nigerian legal practice. Currently pursuing a master's in the UK in public international law, which is based. Um, I'll put it the way he said it, based on his wide range of interest in human rights and humanitarian law. He is also knowledgeable in cyber law and contemporary issue in the cyberspace, especially as it relates to cybercrime, cyber terrorism, and human rights. Hey, man, it's good to have you here. You're muted again, sorry.
You hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
we can hear you now.
it's nice to be with all of you. Thank you very much.
All right. Finally, we have Barrister Abia in the house. Miss Barrister Anthony Abia is a corporate commercial lawyer with focus on startups, technology, and finance. So he has gathered a whole lot of experience from acting for and advising startups, founders, and investors in commercial transactions, investment-related contracts, technology disputes, and company structures. Abia has a deep understanding of the startup space and startups in general and technology law, and also the technology law space. Um, he continues to help startups and founders across Nigeria in their quest to build great companies devoid of poor legal frameworks. He is currently the lead partner at Unicorn Law and general counsel at Jollof Science Inc. It's good to have you here, Barrister Abia. Is he here? Probably has dropped off, network issues. I'm not sure if he's here now. Okay, while we're waiting for him, I guess we've eaten deep into our time, so we'll just get along with it while we're waiting for him to reconnect. I think he's going to join shortly, probably network issues. It's good to mention that Dozie is from Abia State, is from Enugu State, and Kachi is also from Enugu State, okay? No, I'm wrong.
I'm
Okay, please
I'm
correct me.
25%. I'm 25% from Enugu State. My grandma from my maternal side is from Enugu State, so 25%.
Okay, that's good. So, I mean, you have roots here in Enugu State too. So, Dozie is from Enugu State, right?
Yeah, correct. I am.
Okay. I was reading a short bio on Barrister Abia when network kicked him out, but I think he's now here. If I've said anything wrong in your absence, my apologies before you hear it on the call recordings. But welcome back here, sir.
Thank you very much.
Okay. I hope you don't mind me ask. Are you from Enugu State here? Or from Abia State? Your name is Abia.
Okay, I'm from Enugu actually. I always get that.
Oh. Wow, that's great. Okay. So obviously you guys will have some deeply rooted, passionate concerns about what we're doing here. Having our leader, Senior when she has done her introduction, we'll have a whole lot of powerful guys trying to build what we are doing over here, as the main members of, or the leaders or the leads of Enugu State Tech and Startup community. So yes, today we're having this brief fireside chat. It's one of our monthly startup clinics. We normally would host monthly startup clinic, and I did attend the one hosted by AI Movement. That should be there for us today, if I'm not wrong. Powerful one. I want to say kudos to AI Movement. Great job. I think we'll keep doing things, working together, and booming the tech space here. Now, our theme for today says digitalization in Southeast Nigeria, challenges, ideas, and the way forward. So I'd like to start with Dozie to just pour an insight, give a little bit of his take on what he perceives as the challenges we have with digitalization here in the Southeast before we move over to Kachi. You might want to touch a little bit on digitalization too. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Udoka. And I thank you for inviting me to this program. I also thank everyone else who is in attendance for the opportunity to, talk about this thing that affects us all in many ways than we even know. The thing to, first of all, state very clearly is that there is no single way of handling the challenges in the digital space or with AI or with technology. But one sure way to begin is about policy. If you get the policy right, then you may well reduce the damage or the challenges around that space. So first of all, one of the things I perceive to be the challenge when I tailor it down to Enugu State is the fact that the policies are largely inadequate. Now, policies with respect to the rules that regulate digital technology and quite recently AI, and also the rules of enforcement. Now, if you bring it down to the business space, you'd realize that there is the problem of trust between consumers and those who provide services using digital technology. Now, and this problem of trust happens even in the lowest aspects of businesses where you have just simple buying and selling or requesting for a product and then receiving a different thing in, upon the goods getting to you. So, but then if we are unable to set up the right policies through our lawmakers and also the right enforcement procedure, then we may continue to struggle. A perfect example is where you have people saying, "Oh, I don't want you order something and then you get something different. I don't want things like that. I'd rather walk into the stores to see what I'm buying and to pick it up myself and go to my house and know that I have bought actually what I want." Again, is there is also no way of saying, even where you have these good rules or policies, that these things wouldn't happen. But what one can avoid is a situation where enforcement has its own lapses. So the very important thing which we must do if we are looking at, increasing the digital space and then developing a digital economy in Enugu State, we very much have to, build up the character of the law enforcement agencies. Because where you have to go through series of hurdles to seek redress for a wrong that has been done to you by using a technology to do business, then you may find people being more disinterested in using it. Now, on the top of this problem is the fact that we have lawmakers who don't even understand some of these technologies and how they impact on us. So, and there is no way you can have these right policies if you do not have lawmakers who understand it. I'm sorry, I don't know how long I have. I don't know how long I have.
Yeah, you have 1 more minute to go for this particular question, but
Okay.
well, go ahead.
So yeah, very well. And then you also, when we must recognize that digitalization comes with consequences. And one of them, as I have mentioned, is cybercrime. Now, I have just talked about one, which is misrepresentation or fraud in the broad sense of it. So if we are gearing up to digitalize our economy, we need law enforcement. We need to have capable law enforcement mechanism so that where people suffer wrongs in the hands of those who are doing business or in the hands of customers, there is an adequate mechanism to deal with that. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. So basically, I'll say Dozie spoke from the legal implication or the challenges we're faced with getting this digitalization thoroughly done here in the southeast. I'd like to move over to Kachi. If you can speak for 3 minutes on this one. Um, Digitalization is just all about making the processes of getting things done to be tech driven, to be digitalized, right? So, what do you think, as someone who has involved with startups and also founded one in the space. What do you think is the greatest challenge we have getting things digitalized? Obviously, Dozie mentioned the importance of digitalization, which is quite glaring. So what do you think is the challenge we have currently now, getting the whole processes here digitalized?
Okay, so I just want to say that everything Dozie said is absolutely correct, particularly the one about the trust issue, because in my case, the hub side of AI movement, we do take trainings and we do take payments. And we have mechanisms where you can pay online. And a lot of people don't want to do that. They want to come in person to the office and come make payments. But to answer your question specifically, and I know you told me to speak from an investor point of view, but I would like to speak from both investor and both a startup because I'm pretty much both. And I think it all boils down to two things. And this also speaks to what Dozie has said. It typically boils down to structural issues and cultural issues, right? In terms of structural issues, so we would say infrastructure. A startup company that is even starting out don't have the basic infrastructure, start up with like the data issues, the electricity issues, like workspaces. So in our case, for example, I'm having to spend huge amounts of money every month, buying or giving bonuses to my staff for them to be able to have data services. We're now looking into getting Wi-Fi, and I think Starlink just came into the space, but Starlink is quite expensive, and not a lot of startup folks have the funds to even afford those things, right? So to even begin with, a builder, a developer needs actual Wi-Fi, right? And then office space. So a lot of these folks pretty much work from their home. So these are developers that are and founders. And to be able to find a good co-working space in Enugu, there's quite a few, but it's not the greatest, right? So I live in the United States, and these things are quite different. So you can easily get a co-working space that is equipped with all the things that you need, very quiet, very nice, decent, that can foster productivity. And it's not that easy to get. So in our case, AI Movement is part of something that we're offering. We're offering a co-working space, but even that is not cheap, right? So if people come into our space, we need to be able to give them Wi-Fi that operates well, which people are even having issues to come in. My staff is not, I don't even see any of them here. And one of them, I see her coming in and going out because her network is bad, right? And then electricity, having to burn diesel. I heard, but a gallon of or a liter of fuel right now is like 360 or 3. I'm not very accurate in my numbers, forgive me, but it's astronomical, right? So these are the structural issues that you face. From an investor point of view, basically it's a sunk cost, particularly the Southeast. So a lot of investors stop in Lagos because there's a little bit of hope in Lagos, right? It's a melting point, number one. There's all kinds of tribes there. There's all kinds of things going on there. Yeah, but when you start to drive down, say you want to go to Enugu, first of all, where's Enugu, right? It's only Igbo people that are there. There's not a lot going on there. These people are just like people that go to work and come back, they go to work at 8, come back at 5 and sleep or something like that. So you see it as not a place that you want to invest because you don't think you're going to be able to get enough out of it, right? But aside from that, another thing is the investors typically give funds and they want it to go straight into developing the product, right? The digital product or whatever. But actually, the startup folks use those funds first to figure out their basic needs, figure out the basic structural issues. Anybody that I can guarantee you, any investor that is putting money into a startup in Nigeria, in Enugu, for example, some of those funds will go into data. Some of those funds will go into diesel. All these things that are not necessarily the responsibility of an investor. You're putting that burden on the investor's money. And then you come out there as a founder and you say, hey, give me your money. I'm going to do this product and you're going to get like XYZ returns. Nigerian economy fluctuates a lot. So there's no guarantee that whatever you jump in now will be the same value when you take it out. So people are not even interested in investing in those space. And then you go down to the target audience. A lot of them are not ready, right? So we have a great product that we've rolled out online. I have several boot camps that we've spent money to market. People don't show up. Like we had this boot camp recently about, it was front-end development boot camp. 96 people actually signed up. And guess how many people showed up? I think like 19 or like 9, right? Yeah, and like 50 people signed up for the last boot camp we had this past week for digital marketing, and only 9 people showed up the first day, and nobody showed up the second day. So the target audience, they're not ready for these type of things. I don't know if it's issues that has to do with structural issues, but I think it's more cultural, right? They want urgent 2K here and there, like this tech thing. Like we're not seeing the funds coming in anytime soon. The Lord will take care of us in the future. For now, we need to eat, right? I can go out there and do something, whatever. If it's a lady, I can call my boyfriend, or I can do like quick job here and there and get money. If it's a guy, I can do some Yahoo here and there, and get quick bucks. Aside from me sitting down learning a thing for 4 months and no guarantee of even getting work. So these are some of the things that we think are some of the issues for us. So if you as a founder don't have the right audience and you don't even have the funds to begin with because you're constantly being drained, having to fund these structural issues, you don't have any motivation to continue to produce. And if you as an investor, you're not seeing the outcome from it, you have the motivation to continue to invest. And then the target audience, it's a long process by the time that you're going to get people to change their mindset, basically.
Okay, thanks. That was a whole lot. So basically, what moving over to Barrister, I don't know if you have more to add. Dozie and Kachi had mentioned the cultural issues, that has slowed down the Southeast getting involved thoroughly through this digitalization thing, and as well the lack of infrastructure. And then because of one reason or the other, take for instance the instance that Kachi mentioned, the situation of the people over here, and then normally we look at it as something that will be required in long term, and everybody needs to eat for now. Do you have any other thing you want to spotlight on as regard the challenges? And of course, you mentioned the implications based on how it would, discourage or not whet the appetite of investors to begin to look towards the Southeast region to invest in. Do you have any other challenge or implications of this that you want to mention? Hello, Barrister Abia, you are muted.
No, Udoka, I don't know if you have asked me a question. My network keeps giving me issues and it's been logging me in and out. If you can quickly give me the question, I'll quickly say it.
That's the infrastructure issue. No, I just did a recap on what Dozie and Kachi had spotlighted, right? They did mention, because we are first of all highlighting the challenges that we have over here in the Southeast region, because everything we're discussing just spotlights the Southeast region, okay? So they did mention the culture issue. People are not really, they don't have the tech culture, and they're not encouraged to do so. And then we have the absence of infrastructure, which also makes it difficult for startups who might want to consider it to get involved in it. And then that has an implication on the reducing the appetite of investors to look towards this area, correct? To invest in tech startups and so on. Are there any other issues you want to spotlight, or do you have any points you want to throw light on? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So network keeps knocking off and on. I don't know if we should just continue in the meantime while we're waiting for him to join. I mean, he can give a rundown of every opinion he has on challenges, ideas, and the way forward, just to save time, because we have barely 15 to 20 minutes to wrap up.
Yes, please permit me to mention this network issue.
Okay.
It's a huge challenge. If you're doing business like throughout last week, we've been having the issues of network. You want to reach your customers, you can't. You want to transact business or make payments, you can't. You can't even log into your mobile banking app. So it's a huge challenge affecting businesses. What about websites crashing because you can't access all the information there goes off and on like that, and there's no proper backup or security on it? So these are challenges that are real. People are facing it. I just wish that Barrister Abia was able to share his own perspective of the challenges from startups angle. So yes, please, continue.
Yeah, I think. Thank you very much. I think he will be able to share it once his network is stable, before, hopefully before the meeting ends. Having mentioned these challenges you are facing, because the essence of having this kind of discussion is to bring it to view. And when we talk about it, many times we tend to gear up to see how we can solve it. So, Kachi, first, I want to ask this question to you. Do you think there's something we can do to solve this deficient tech culture? So, for instance, I'm into the edu tech space. Okay, so once you notice that when you build portals for schools, for instance, they have an option to pay school fees using the portal. They have an option to receive school assignments from the portal. They will choose not to. So we started tackling it from our own end. But I'd like to see your own perspective, because we saw that first and foremost, it's not about building solutions, leveraging tech, making it available for people to use. Apart from challenges, people are just not interested. They just feel like, yeah, people prefer to handle cash than to run transfers. It's just, I don't know, it's a cultural thing. So what do you think we can do, to solve this cultural issue as regard everybody getting interested in digitalization and following it through as something that is of necessity? Do you think it's not really a need
So
yet here?
it's a need. It's a need everywhere. But I think it's a gradual process, right? Because a lot of times we like to compare ourselves with Europe or compare ourselves with the Americas, but these people took a long time from them to go from, analog to digital. I can remember when we actually changed, the government sent us like something like cables to change our TVs from analog to digital. There was no flat screen TVs back then. And this is here in the US. It's not like, it wasn't like in the great far future. I think this was like 10 or 12 or 13 years ago that this happened, literally. Right. So this is a gradual process. We have to understand it. But we have to continue to put those things into the system. So you just mentioned that you have a way for people to make payments online. That's the same thing we're facing. We have a way for people to make payments online. You can go to our website, you can click on a class, register for a class, and pay via PayStack. But we've not. No one has ever used it before. People come in, but that doesn't mean we don't make those options available. So I have trained my staff in such a way that when they speak to a client or prospective student, they would have to say, "Hey, we have 3 methods of payments, right? You can either pay online, you can come in person, you can use the POS." And when they come in person, you can encourage them to use the digital format, right? Someone brought cash recently and we're like, we don't take cash. Hey, it's either you do a transfer or you do a POS or you go online. So the more people hear about these things, the more comfortable they get. And we're getting there. Jumia is in the system. Who could have believed that Nigeria could have a marketplace that's online recently? Jumia is there. Jumia is functioning. Some people use it. So the more that we get people sensitized, the more that these things are going to become, the cultural walls that people have built up will start to break down. But again, we have issues, and I think Dozie is going to speak about this, of cybersecurity. So if I never feel safe, I will never use it. I don't care how much you pressure me to use it. But if I think that someone's going to hack me and go into my bank and steal all my money, I will never use it. So there's more to be done with that. But from our own side, the little bits that we can do is just continue to offer these products and just hope that something better will happen soon.
Okay. So she mentioned the concerns about people having fears, and probably might be what will prompt them to choose to rather not use, these online options. But hey, it's not just all about payment platforms. The whole of processes that we digitalize over here. Even when you look at the multi-billion goals, I think having a paperless, reducing the use of paper is part of what, I think it's among the SDGs, if I'm correct. So what will make that happen is to digitize things. Okay, so apart from payment platforms where people could be scammed and people have their concerns, people just will prefer not to go digital. I don't know why. I think it's because like you said, is a process. So is our option only left at continually investing in sensitizing people and encouraging them to do so? She has the luxury of saying, hey, we don't receive cash. If you come to my business and you give me cash, when I'm taking that cash, when I'll advise you against not bringing cash the next time. So not everyone has the luxury of doing that, okay? What other options do we have? Okay, and then is there any are there any legal hindrances to these options, if there are any?
Okay, thank you very much, Udoka. You know, before I left Nigeria, I practiced for about 5 years. And then my experience with that is that Nigeria is one of the places where justice is really, really costly to get. Now, it is costly because the procedure to get it is too difficult. Now, if you have, say, a client or as an entrepreneur who is into tech, and you have been able to create something, and for some reason you've suffered the wrong in the hands of your partners or people you're doing things with, it could take you 7, 8, 10 years to get that redressed. And one would then imagine what would happen to such a business, assuming a reasonable percentage of that business is at stake. So, but then the only way to get this right is to hold our leaders accountable, and also to create a system of funding, because the more people know through learning, the more these problems are off. If people do not understand the benefits of using a digitalized economy, especially our leaders, you'd find that their laws they make, if they make any in various houses of assembly, the laws they make would not even have anything to do with digitalization of the economy. So as a lawyer, and before I left Nigeria, I've been making inquiries to know what kind of committees exist in the Enugu State House of Assembly, for instance, and what kind of laws they pass there. Now you find that here in the UK, you could do property. The property industry has been very much digitalized. So you pay your rent, you do different things online. But as I speak to you, the tenancy law of Enugu State is definitely what we inherited from the British people. Until date, there hasn't been any improvement on that.
Sorry. Let me interrupt you there.
Yes.
So specifically on this lag we have in updating things, okay, which might be one of the issues we have, okay. What is lacking? Like why is it so? Why is it so? Because you have people like you, for instance, who are knowledgeable that this has been for so long. Yeah. So why is it still that way? Let's give an instance.
The problem is that people who are aware of these problems may not be able to be in positions to make these laws, whether it is because we've monetized our political process or because there is the problem of security. Now, it is difficult for you to have an 18-year-old. By the Constitution, you can vie for election from the age of 18 if you have at least West African school certificate. Now, I can't imagine, to be honest, where a young person who has considerable understanding about tech is given an opportunity by these notable parties. I'm not saying you can't run, you can even create your own party. But then, before we get the problem of policy right, we must have lawmakers who even understand it in the first place. Now, and for you to have that, it could take years, because this group of lawmakers we have right now at some point will move away. So, but you have to start investing in these younger ones, and you need funding to do that, especially from the government. And if you do that, then these younger people will grow to drop those culture Kachim had mentioned, and possibly imbibe this culture of digitalization. Now, if you have someone who possibly in the classroom in secondary schools have heard of AI, have heard of making payments online and the ease that comes with that, and then this young child grows into becoming a man and possibly gets into politics, then that is the only way you have a lawmaker that is interested in, creating rules and policies to help the tech space. So this is one way we can be able to achieve that. The government needs to come in, because the government can come in with respect to funding. The government can come in with respect to law enforcement. You've got to have an easy way of seeking redress when someone has done something wrong to you, using your product or using the means which you've provided. Now, it's not just about the customers. There are people who set up these things just to dupe people. And at the end of the day, you go to the police or to these law enforcement agents, and you also have to pay them to do their work. I mean, it's a problem too, but I hope Abia would take after me and then deal with that. Thank you very much.
So what I would rather do is to ask. This is quite a vast topic because we've tried to limit it to cultural issues, government involvement, infrastructure, which we've not really touched on, except when Dozie mentioned that the government needs to come in. So, but I just want to move on intentionally because we don't really have much time. I know we could even, expand this topic, to a large extent. And if Abia's network is stable, I know he will have a whole lot to contribute. A lot of few persons we have in the audience could also lend their voice to making, suggesting, giving their input, suggest how, further challenges and what could be done. So I want to ask Dozie on the way forward, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So is it possible that as a group of entrepreneurs, as startups,
my network is stable a bit, so in case
okay.
you want
Oh, okay. After this question to Dozie and Kachi, I'll just open the floor to you to, touch on the three different areas.
Yeah.
So Dozie, I'm saying this, because I feel that that bad governance might unfortunately be a constant in our equation. Full stop. That's my assumption, and so it seems we probably might have good. I'm not being hopeless here. I'm just saying, even if there is a possibility of having good governance, it's always good to have a solution that can thrive, even when you have bad governance. Okay, so I'm saying, what is our way forward, regardless of bad governance? Is it possible to, for instance, digitize the legal processes and make it faster, more effective? Is it possible to digitalize processes down here? Say, because this spans different sectors. You mentioned the real estate sector. We have the education sector. We have payments, the payment sector, banks, right? What do you think is our way forward, even if we have a bad government? That's my question. Okay, even if we have a bad government, what do you think can be done to, say, within the next few years, solve the challenges with digitalizing everything? Because it's a whole new, like, we are far behind. Okay, if we entered into digitalization, it will even cause a whole lot of employment. Like, it's a big deal. Okay, to start with, to give a whole lot of employment, and things will be more effective. We'll begin to go closer to what people in Western world are experiencing, and it's worth doing, not necessarily because they are doing it over there, but because it's necessary, like Kachi mentioned. So, regardless of bad governance, what can we do as entrepreneurs to solve it?
Well, the thing is, one way to begin is to have a united voice. I am very much pleased to see something like this happening in Enugu. Now, the more you do it, the more you stay together, the more you form a single voice and a single opinion. Now, and hopefully, with time, this group or groups like this will be able to influence decisions in their various localities. Now, beyond putting, these products out, I feel that there is the very need to have corporations like this, alliances like this in Enugu State. Now, when you have alliances like this, eventually when these lawmakers come to you or during political seasons like this, you would be able to put this forward. So we need to continue to stay together, those who actually believe in what this, aspect of the economy could do. And you need to keep reaching out, doing this, creating this awareness. And hopefully where you have a good number of persons getting involved under a platform such as this, then you may be able to influence things moving forward. Because it is very difficult to say, keep putting this product out and you're losing money, you're losing precious time, you're losing the resources. It's very difficult to maintain that level of commitment, especially for someone whose economy is majorly controlled by, or whose finances are majorly controlled by the Nigerian economy. If you have to deal with all of these things and earn from the same economy, it's difficult to stay afloat. So I think these alliances are very important. You have to keep on moving forward. You have to keep bringing more people into this system so that through you and people like Kachi that has established a startup, people would come to realize the benefits of using these technologies and hopefully move their lawmakers in their individual constituencies to start proposing and putting up bills that would eventually become law and then help both the tech users and the those who create these services within the tech industry to thrive. But let me also say this very quickly. I am always concerned about the human rights aspect of things. Now, for entrepreneurs in the tech industry, they have to be mindful of the way they handle data. In Nigeria at large, and also especially in Enugu State, it seems not to matter if people's data are thrown into anywhere. But that's another problem we would have to deal with when we're able to come up to that level where everyone wants to, jump in and do things with digital technology and get things through with that. So that's exactly what I have to say about it. You have to maintain this level of confidence, this level of commitment. You have to keep creating these alliances. You have to even see if you could reach out to these government offices and know if they have anything that seems like a committee for the purposes of digitalization or AI or whatever. I am seriously in doubt if it exists in Enugu, but if it does, you need to have a partnership with them so that while they are making these laws and you may provide assistance in where they may need it. Thank you very much.
Thanks a million, sir. I would like to say, just use 30 seconds, just 30 seconds to tell us how, for instance, you can help as a lawyer to boost the efforts or to magnify the efforts of these alliances. Is there any role the lawyers can play? You, for instance, just 30 seconds.
Yes, there are roles we can play. Now, I want to believe I'm a part of this startup or a part of this alliance. And if I am already a member or a part of it, lawyers come in to direct policymakers, and that is through writing. And then we also need to help ourselves. Say someone like Kachi is having a problem right now, which involves a bit of law or a bit of culture, whatever it is. We need to provide someone like me and Abby or any other person who has some degree of knowledge about the legal system in Nigeria. You need to provide help for someone like Kachi. And even if I am, assuming I want to necessarily be charge some whatever fee for my services, I have to understand that she is running a startup and that whatever thing I do may further impact on the injuries she's suffering. Now we have to create this system that encourages one another through the skills we have, through the services we can provide, through any other means, really, that makes the whole process easier. So as a lawyer, there are very few laws that touches on in Nigeria, if there is any. To be honest, the only law I can think of right now is the one that relates to privacy. But if you go down to businesses, you may find that there are no laws, so to speak, about, the management of AI technology or digitalization and all of that. So this is what I think we can do, because each and every one of us here, I don't think anyone began a career. So I want to safely assume that we're all professionals in different fields, as well as this tech startup industry. And if that is the case, then there might be other things that you can help someone in tech achieve just by being a part of alliances like this. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay, so a last one from Kachi. Before I go there, I'd like to say a big thank you to Dozie for agreeing to be part of this alliance and agreeing to be available. Yeah, so a whole lot of stuff we're going to do together, and it's going to be action all the way, surely, and hopefully we'll be able to make magic happen working together. So, Kachi, I don't know if you would just give us a last piece on what you think. He has mentioned having this alliance and keep doing this kind of great work to get people probably gradually get excited about tech and digitalization and everything that comes with it. But the thing is, yeah, like someone said, collaboration is the key. But what other thing do you think we can do to kickstart or to speed up this process of digitalization within this our region?
So I think your first question was like, in spite of the government, whether government helps or not, what can we do? And I was going to say, what has government? Who government don't help? I beg, if government don't help you, raise your hand.
Thank you.
So we've been doing things in spite of the government, and Dozie, you're correct that some of us have other things. I'm a lawyer in the U.S., right? And it's my legal money that I earn from my legal job and my other businesses here that I'm using to fund my company in Nigeria. Literally, I have not received a dime from anyone else, maybe partners to begin with, but then it's me that's funneling it, right? So no government assistance whatsoever, but we have to keep going. And the reason that my company continues to stay afloat even up till now, although we're breaking banks to make that happen, is because we have visionaries, right? I'm a visionary. I see that there's a future in this space. And then I have a host of team. I have a great solid team behind me that are also visionaries, right? So whenever I say, hey, let's get this on board, these men and women are ready to just jump on it and make it happen. So whenever we also face challenges, like I just mentioned at the beginning, we had this boot camp that we're excited about. We bought food, we spent monies and all that. And then only 19 people showed up out of 96 people that signed up, right? So there are discourages that you're going to feel, but as long as you have that vision and you keep that vision, then you continue to go. But the thing about it is to make sure that you understand that the field that you're getting into, it's not for everybody. Dozie rightfully mentioned, you continue to put money in, you're not seeing the outcome out. Like, it's very heartbreaking. And I'm feeling that right now because I'm funneling money and I'm not seeing any returns. And I'm like, I beg, my pocket big cry. So you have to understand that it's not a quick return scenario here. And you have to be ready for that. You have to surround yourself with the right people, and you have to join communities. And that's why part of AI Movement's a team is to build this hub that brings everyone together. We just had on Friday where a founder came into our space. He's developing some agribusiness products, and we brought in some people from the tech community to come in and give him some feedback. Hey, you're doing great, or you're not doing great. You need to change this. You need to, as long as we continue to hold each other's hands and we move with that vision and understand that this is no man's land, but we're going to create paths here, I think we should be able to have a good outcome pretty soon, sooner than later. And vote for the right people. Vote for the right people. It's very important.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. So I'll thank you. So your point aligns with what Dozie said. Collaboration, more collaboration, alliances. Yeah. Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll just mute the mic for Barrister Abia to run it all on us. Using probably 3 minutes if you can please summarize on the challenges with digitalization in Southeast ones he would want to, highlight on, and then what we can do irrespective of bad government to, for instance, tackle some of those challenges and that have been mentioned and others that he would come up with.
Okay.
I
Can
don't.
you?
Perfect. I don't want to feel unfortunate that the infrastructure issues is place taking its toll again on us now.
Hear me, Luca. Let me be very clear that you can hear me.
Oh, yeah, we can hear you now. Please go on.
Be sure before I go on.
Yes, we
Okay,
can hear
so
you as
thank
at
you very
now.
much. This is my
As
first
at
time of
now.
speaking. Um, Part of Nigeria. First thing we have to understand, I've been to the East a couple of times. Last year, and a couple of the place that is not directly relating to buying and selling. So it's a place where the culture is for you to get into a business with someone, and then at some point the person gets to settle you, and then you get into buying and selling. But that's also entrepreneurship, but it has moved, and some of the issues we are having is that I feel that the people that we have that are very familiar with the startup space, I think that they have a duty or sort of a responsibility to try to come back to the southeastern part of Nigeria to try to give back to the people. I say this is a typical example of what I saw happen in Israel when they were trying to build back the nation. Israel was in ruins. They were trying to build back the country. They know that the way to go is entrepreneurship. They know that this is what they need to do to build the country. So what they did was, one of the things they did was that the government, first is some of the Israeli guys that were coming back into the country were coming in with a lot of experience. Some of them are working with a couple of companies, IBM, all the old tech companies out there. So most of them were coming back to the country to try to give back, to try to create awareness, building companies from scratch in Israel to see how the nation can grow. But at the time when they were trying to build the economy, the leadership of the government was also not ignorant of the things they are supposed to do. So they know that one of the biggest problems with startups is finance. So they know that they don't know how to build venture capital firms. They don't know how to do those things. So what they did was they invited firms from the US, got them to come into Israel and tell them, look, if we want to build, we want 10, I can't remember the exact number now, but let's say they want to build about 10 VC firms. They tell you, look, if you're going to put up $50 million, the government will put up the other $50 million. But the rule is you have to invest in Israeli companies. And we don't intend to take the money back from you. This is just, we want to build an ecosystem. And then you also have a duty and a responsibility to try to hold the hands of other young entrepreneurs that are in the nation at the time. And this is how those guys started building their nation little by little. If someone hears that this sort of thing is happening in their country, they want to go back to the nation to try to give back. So if you relate it down to Enugu, one of the issues I realized is that most of our people who knows the startup space very well, many persons don't want to let me not say they don't want to, they don't think it is necessary or it is not compelling for them to come back to try to see if they can solve some issues. I'll share this for free. The last time I went to Enugu, ordering food was a problem. You can't easily order food from your house in Enugu. Let's say you want to eat. Some of us here who are based in Enugu, for instance, would know places like Nkachi, Open Sheraton, and all those places. You can't easily order food. Like, you can't order food with ease. So I thought to myself, nobody has looked at this particular space to try to say, okay, look, let's just build something simple. You don't need to come to Lagos to try to build something. That's how DoorDash was able to beat some of the biggest companies in the US. They went to the urban areas that seem like they don't need to be serviced, built it from there. It was working seamlessly, and then they built it from there to other things. So you notice that the ecosystem is not built for people to think in that direction. And that is because, leave the government aside for us, but the educational system is not built to make people understand that this is an area we can literally build. If Enugu State has, let's say we have 5 people that sort of enjoy some level of, let's say an exit or an acquisition, and the person is a millionaire in dollars. And, since our people have been known to people that, finances and, something that moves them, probably moves many young entrepreneurs out there in the business space. So that would be something that is very, 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 very instrumental. I mean, we saw in Nigeria recently who wants to buy Sheffield. He's an Igbo guy, a great guy. Someone like him coming back, people knowing that, look, I was in tech, I didn't steal, I'm able to do this. So, and people should also realize the place of failure. So we don't have the people, we don't have the infrastructure, we don't have people that you can say, look, I'm looking up to this guy, he built this stuff here and it worked, and I'm going to do mine here and it's also going to work. So the digitalization of the space, to be very frank, is going to be a very difficult one, right? Because the people, the brains that we have, they are all going out. I know of a guy who was playing basketball with me in Esut when I was in Esut. I mean, I was chatting with him on LinkedIn. I couldn't even remember him. So he just started me and said, yo, we play basketball together. I'm like, what do you do? He said he is now in tech. And, okay, where are you based? He said in Enugu, but he's planning to leave. In my head, I'm like, yo, how are you planning to leave? There are problems to solve there. But I mean, of course, they'll give you issues, give you examples and why those things will not work. So on the part of the government, these people, for me, the way I look at it, they don't see it as having a need to try to build the entrepreneurship space, because they don't know anything about it. So you don't expect a leader who has never built a business before, a leader who has never, you've really not built. You've not built anything very substantial in your life before. They don't understand what we are talking about. They don't understand. So when you look at that space, it's difficult to convince them. But when you have more persons operating in that space, see what happened in Enugu. I heard a lot of persons when the logistics space started booming, right? The government came up with a levy for logistic companies for them to pay 150,000 naira every year. I mean, it's crazy. You've not built any infrastructure for them. You've not come up with anything whatsoever. You just notice that the space is booming. The little space that people started, try to be entrepreneurial in their personal capacity, and all you can do for them is to try to shut them down and try to ensure that they don't even grow and make them pay such huge amounts of money. So it's really painful to look at the digitalization of the southeastern Nigeria and see that our people out there, in a nutshell, our people out there need to consider coming back to. I mean, you may be trying to build a company, not necessarily, because you want to build a $1 billion company. And I mean, if you're able to do that, no problem. But it's a way of encouraging people to say, look, we want to build a food delivery company here, and let's just build it to just become successful. And let me also mention quickly that investors don't care where you are based. They don't care where you are. If you look at what's happening in India, states. I saw a video where a governor, was it a governor or more like a commissioner of another state, was pitching a startup in another space telling them that they should come over to their own state because they have good tax incentives and they have good power, good infrastructure in their place, that they should come move out from that. Because the other startup guy, because the founder was complaining how the power is expensive and things, but the other guy was pitching him to come to his state, and these are things that are happening in India. So we don't have people, but like they are trying to drag people to their own state to make sure that they sort of get their own system, and booming. But these guys, our own people, don't see it like that. You see? So if our people, so sorry, I'll round up quickly. So if our people just look at, if our people are able to look at these opportunities that are there, knowing that if you go into this space, there is a chance that you're going to make money. And I believe in that principle that if you focus on something 100% for if you stay in it long enough, you're not going to be poor. Knowing that, and if you look at what's happening in Enugu and sorry, I'm so sorry. If you look at what's happening in Enugu,
get the point. Okay, carry on.
Okay. I just want to, because just a couple of things that just running through my hand. I don't want to forget them. If you look at what's happening in the southeastern part of Nigeria now, there's something I noticed, and it's quite painful, and I don't like it. You find that what the government officials are now doing is, when they see a bright mind, right from the university level, as soon as you're done, they make you a special advisor. You're earning 100,000 naira a month, or you're earning 150,000 naira a month. And they'll keep you there. You're quiet. You can't do anything. You are in support of the government. You cannot say anything. You can't really think on your own. You can't speak out. Look at some of the bright minds we have. I can mention names. They've conscripted them to be in that particular life. So the entire space of trying to digitalize the space, you will find that, in my opinion, I feel that those of our people that understand this space needs to come. They need to come back to the space to try to show people that, look, you can actually build, if you find a problem, you can actually build a business out of that. And secondly, is that the government needs to understand that if you are trying to build, if you're genuinely trying to build an economy for people, you shouldn't care about the thing you're charging them per time. Look at what's happening in River State. What's happening in Enugu. That is not what you should be doing at that time. And nobody is saying these things to them. Nobody is saying it to them because really they don't really care, right? So, and when it comes to infrastructure,
no, sorry, I want to cut you. I'm sorry. We're long past our time, but I want to get this very clear, because I assure you, there is a whole lot on my mind and everybody's mind here. But let's just cut it brief here. But I'll get the point you said clear. So you're saying the issue with digitalization can be tackled as a problem in itself, and startups could make money tackling it. Is that what you said, in sum, as a solution? No.
Yes, I do think so. Yes, but before they even do that, I just want, my major point is that we need our own people who understand what entrepreneurship is about to come back. Some of them need to come back, and you lead by example. If you can build a startup that is successful out of Enugu, even if somebody acquires your startup for $10 million out of Enugu, out of Anambra, out of Imo State, out of anywhere in the southeast, people become interested. You know how our people sort of how they react to things. Their mentality now shifts from saying, I want my child to play football, to I want my child to become a founder.
Yes.
You see the difference now. So a man can say, look, I'm going to give you, my son wants to build a company. I'm going to give you 10 million naira. Well, if you fail, no problem. No problem. We'll keep trying.
We're a long way off from there, but we can make that happen anyways. So last question for you, like this, I just want to get this from you. You're in the legal space, working with startups and so on, and probably with investors, and Kachi has something to say. Would you participate in any way to be involved with bringing shifting investors our way? Do you have such network? Will you be interested to do that?
Okay, let me say that first is I would be interested. Those investors I know a couple of angel investors who they'll be more than willing to give you 25, 50,000 or $100,000 for if what it is that you're working on is a good thing and they're
It's worth
interested.
investing, yeah, and can scale,
Yes,
correct.
I know people who would want to do that. I know I was recently on an entrepreneurship program. We're trying to select people and and I was speaking with a dossier about a particular idea. And then while I was on that team, I saw somebody executing that, and then one of
Okay.
the guys, one of the judges on the board just decided to give the lady $100,000
You see?
as more like as an angel investor, and then he did that as a convertible note. I mean, that's the state that which they are, and you need to do it at that
That's
because the
great.
company has not been valued. So
Okay,
I'm
so
more
what will
than
happen?
willing to
Okay,
do that.
okay, so what will happen? Because we're entrepreneurs, we're not all talks, but we talk and we act, right? So after this wonderful event, this beautiful eye opener, we're going to hook up and we're going to schedule an Enugu State exhibition that is going to feature real startups. And that is going to give birth to um, connecting startups in Enugu State here who are really doing great stuff. It's our job to spotlight those who are doing great job, that are real startups, right? And then you help us connect with investors that will come over here. We'll host them. We can host them, okay? And then they see what's happening and see if there are any that they want to invest in. Deal? Does this work for you?
So
Hello, senior
yes, it
counsel.
does work for me. It does work for me. I just wanted to say that when you say that the investors will have to come personally, I have to confess to you that it is hard to bring.
Okay.
It is hard.
Okay, we can have
To
it
say you want
virtually.
to
It's fine. We can have it
they
virtually.
can come
Virtual is fine.
online.
Yes.
Okay. They can come online, but
Okay.
it will be difficult to drag them to do that.
Done deal. We'll have it virtual. Thank you very much sir, for that. So we're wrapping up here now. We're going to have, please let us maintain 30 seconds. I'm pleading. Please, we've kept people for too long. 30
You
seconds
should
from
not ignore me
Kachi.
at this point. Don't ignore me. Do not
Yeah, I'm
ignore
talking
me.
to you. I'm actually talking to you. Please,
Oh,
take
okay.
30 seconds, please. So
Okay,
let
so
let
30 seconds.
I'm going to mute
Okay.
my mic. I'm done here. Let me just give you thanks. Thanks to everybody. Thanks to everyone that came on this show. I'm going to hand over to you, Kachi. Don't mind. So thanks to everyone that came on the show. Thanks to Kachi. Thanks to Dozie. Thanks to our big man from Lagos. Yes, to Barrister Abia. I'm going to wrap up by saying two things. Once I off my mic, I've handed over to my Madam Chinyere Tuoli. So we have Kachi to drop a 30-second speech. Doze, if you want to drop a 30-second speech, he can. After that, we have a special feature in the house, Green Age Technologies, that are doing great stuff over here. So if you can take 1 minute to drop a 1 minute speech, and then we, Madam Chinyere Tuoli, wrap it all up. So, okay, I think we'll have other hands up. Oh boy, okay, so 30 seconds from each person. And so with that, that's bye from me. I'll mute my phone. Over to Kachi.
Okay, so I don't think this is going to be 30 seconds. It may be longer. The lawyer in me cannot help but, rebut something that Barrister Abia said. He said that investors don't care where you are. And I'm glad that Udoka put him on the spot because last minute he's like, well, these investors are not going to show up in Enugu. My point is, investors care where you are. They literally care where you are. They would rather invest in Lagos than invest in Enugu. Now, if what you have is a good product, then fine. What you have to understand is whenever you're doing something that has a target audience, you need testers, right? Your testing audience may be in Enugu. And if whatever you're saying in Enugu, check out the population of Enugu, there's not a lot of people there, right? So why would an investor jump like $500,000, $1 million to something that you are saying, okay, Southeast region or Enugu, when there's not a lot of there's not an audience for your product there. Your audience may be in general the whole of Nigeria or Lagos as a whole or something. So investors do actually care where you are. And Udoka, again, I thank you for putting him on the spot. We at AI Movement, we are planning to have an investor round coming up in April where we're inviting everybody, all the founders in Enugu who have something that they have started that's MVP stage to pitch. And please, Udoka, give me his contact information so that I will be bothering this guy every day, every night, for him to bring these investors that don't care where we are to come into Enugu and invest in our
Done
founders.
deal. It's
All
done.
right,
Done
thank
deal.
you.
You have his contact already. Meanwhile, did you say in April? Which month is that?
April. So we're thinking like April after the elections when everything quiets down, April, May. So it's like a Shark Tank kind of thing where we would have investors come in and everyone who has anything to offer would come in and pitch their products. And if an investor finds something that they like, hey, you go ahead and do that.
Okay,
So
perfect.
it's
We
April,
already
May
had
is what we're looking at.
April, May is perfect for Enugu State Tech Community. We've already planned something April, May too. See, the Spirit of God is moving among us. Praise God. So, all right, green. We have Green Age next, please. Green
Green Age.
Age, over to you, sir.
Yeah. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Thank you very much, everybody. Omo, I've been listening to what you guys have been saying, and I've really been enjoying everything. I think such sessions are very important, especially to even us, the business people, serve, so that we can hear that the challenges are similar, and then so that we can sleep. Because sometimes you feel like you are the only one facing these problems. So I really appreciate everybody so far. So just a couple of things. I think almost everything has been said, but just wanted to reiterate on maybe two things. So the first thing is waiting on the government. So I had an opportunity. There was a time the federal minister, FMIT, I think the federal minister of industry and technology, the minister came to Enugu, and they were doing the Enugu trade fair, right? And we had an opportunity to meet with her, and she told us to come over to Abuja for discussion. And when we went to Abuja, we had to discuss with the ministry, and they were like, they gave us a very direct speech. They were like, people in the southeast are too interested in what they are doing and they feel like the government is too slow. That the difference between us and those in the north is that the people in the north have patience to wait for the government. Why we feel like the government is too slow. And if we apply for something after 1 month or 2 months or 3 months, we give up. Why somebody there can wait for 8 months and get a grant? Right. So they are more interested. I feel like since what we are doing, we should also remember that I think patience also plays in something we're trying to do with them for the past 2 years or so, for the past a year plus. It was actually last week that we succeeded with them. I think they wanted to go for this leap event in Saudi Arabia, and then they took us with the government, and we're able to meet with some of the investors there, and we're able to connect properly. So I think as a group, what we can do for ourselves is understand that this opportunity exists. Outside this group, the other guys, the startups that are there might be feeling, government, they don't care about anybody and they're not doing that. But we can actually investigate properly to know what the government can actually do, because there are some things they can do. And sometimes they say, wait till you know no pass you. Truly, wait till you know no pass you. There are a lot of opportunities that the government can produce. There are some already producing. I know the benefits I got to go on the trip. And there are other things they are doing, especially my field per se. I know there are much more in those guys than both agri tech. I met a lot of guys in agri tech, and they've benefited immensely from the government. So a lot of guys are benefiting from them. So I think what we need to do as a group, one, is to investigate what opportunities exist. I think we can do that. If we investigate what opportunities exist, we should not give up. We can now present this to the people that are in our ecosystem. As we are trying to digitalize, a lot of things exist we can present to them. And also in my feed, I've discovered that the REA, World Bank, Bank of Industries, these guys sound like a myth to a normal startup. They sound like people that they are just all talk and no do. But they are guys that have been patient to understand what these guys need and how to tap from these resources, and they are benefiting immensely from these guys. So I believe we can also investigate that. And then the last person that spoke before Madam Kachi spoke, I think he mentioned a lot of things, and that guys are running away from the southeast. And I just know that one thing we can do as a community is to make the southeast interesting. We can make it look very nice, even if it's not very nice. I think it's something that we need to do. We need to make it look very nice, make it look. So I know in my particular business, we are currently building a factory now. I know how we struggled with the investor that wanted to maintain the factory to be in Enugu, and they were like, why should it be in Enugu? bring it to Lagos. Okay, even if it's not in Lagos, even if, because I told them specifically I don't like Lagos. They said, okay, even if you don't like Lagos, at least there's Ibadan that is close to, there's this that is close. You can stay there and then you can. I say my target market is not Lagos. My target market is Nigeria, and I can ship from wherever point I want to ship to. So I had to make a case that it was cheaper for me to manufacture in Enugu, because to be cheaper for me to afford land to build my factory, cheaper for my labor, cheaper for residents or my staff, cheaper for. I had to make a financial case to them saying it's cheaper for me to run this manufacturing here. A lot of you guys buy things from China. Do you care? Do you have to tell the company to bring the manufacturing company down to Lagos for them to manufacture? No. The point is that once the products come out and they are good and the prices are good. So I feel like I think this also ties to what the last person said about investors caring where you are. I think investors care where you are when you are allowing them to make the case for you, because they are going to tell you, this is why you should move to Lagos. If you're a serious business person, you should be able to make a case that this is why I should stay here, and this is why it's beneficial for me to stay. And there are a lot of reasons that you can give. So I just want to use the opportunity to add my own points and say I'm very grateful for all the speakers. And Udoka, you are doing a very nice job. Thank you, sir.
God, you are doing a better job, sir. This is green age technologies, powerful work. These guys has raised. This is one of the people that have raised money in Enugu, making Southeast proud. They raised, if not more than around $1 million plus in investment funding, and they probably
Hey,
have got some of that grants from
Jesus
elsewhere.
Christ.
One day they will not kidnap you. I don't see you.
Hey.
Nobody will kidnap you. There are powerful men here too. Check out what you need. So they are doing a whole lot of great work and representing Southeast. So thank you, sir, for being here. I'll just mute again for Pyramid Law wants to speak, Edozie wants to speak, and we have Emmanuel and Gene wants to speak. So let's take turns. Let's respect our guest speaker first. Hope you guys don't mind. Dozie and Barrister. I'm happy that everybody's enjoying the whole thing, but I think we rather wrap up really quick.
I
So that people.
I understand that Abia wants to make a case and he wants to join issues. So I would permit him do that.
Okay, please, senior counsel. 30 seconds, Ejo, 30 seconds, please.
No, I'm not joining issues, please. I'm not joining issues. I just wanted to say that this the location of, I think I should probably just make myself clearer. The location where a business operates from. Yes, I know that the population of the place is important. Yes, but the point I was trying to make when I said that was that if you have built a product that works, right, especially if it's a SaaS company, for instance. So if the product works, it does not. People sometimes, there are products that I've used in the past that I don't even know the people that own the product. I just know that the thing works. I go online, I pay, and then that's it. So on that particular note, it wouldn't be of utmost importance. Yes, I know that there are people that literally, I know startups that have been moved from Ogun State to Lagos, from Port Harcourt Market Ladder to Lagos, because investors would want to push you and all of that. But if you've built out the product already, or if you're in the manufacturing space and you've built out the product already, coming to Lagos, the cost is there and many other things. So if you come to Lagos, I mean, it is, I know that it will support you in terms of maybe transportation and all of that stuff. But it is also important for us to know that the product that have been built out, location of where you are located at the time would not, if because investors are more concerned about sales. That is, if yes, I know that many of them will look at the potential of your business and all of those things. But many investors will tell you, okay, how much are you? What's your turnover? What's your gross profit? What's your net? All of those things. If you're up and running already. So, and if those things look good and it's something that would not have any restriction in terms of usage in different locations, I mean, many of them would not push for you to leave where you are. And again, down to what Emmanuel said, when he talked about trying to make Enugu a place where that would look good, brother. the thing is that trying to make Enugu a place that look good requires quite a lot. I will not lie to you. And people don't get to know where you stay unless certain sets of persons take the responsibility, or the government takes the responsibility to try to give Enugu a good face. You know, it may not be the government, but certain NGOs or people that maybe incubators, accelerators that are in Enugu take the responsibilities. And trying to give Enugu a good face means you need a video, you need to try to make video content, you need to try to create pictures, you need to try to see that the businesses that are in Enugu are doing well, you know. So that is how I feel that Enugu can actually have a good face.
Thank you, sir. We are going to adopt those strategies. I think we've already started doing that. Enugu State Tech Community is doing that already under the leadership of Ms. Chinero Toye and the powerful support of Izochukwu, CEO of One Star. Okay. We have, yes, before, Jose, please. Everybody keeps speaking for longer than 30 seconds.
No, I'll
maintain
maintain 30 seconds. All right. I'm going
God
to
bless you,
maintain
sir.
30 seconds. And the reason why I just want to say something is this. A lot of times, right, especially in the Southeast, even in the legal industry, we undermine and underrate the importance of partnership. Now, partnership is a legal term. That means 2, 3 more persons come together to agree to certain terms, you know, as a way to achieve certain goals. And these terms must, of course, they must have the intent to be bound by that legal relationship. And the reason why this is important is this, like what the gentleman from Green Technologies mentioned. If you have got either superior knowledge or privileged knowledge about something that works, there is the responsibility on you to share that amidst these alliance or these groups or these, you have to put it forward. There is no, I mean, knowledge is not the exclusive reserve of anyone, especially where it is a benefit that comes from the federal government. It means someone like myself, someone like Kachi, someone like any other citizen of Nigeria might be also, you know, entitled to such a benefit. So, and if you have got these information that could help people to move their startup to, you know, develop their business, then it is important for each and every one of us in the startup industry to recognize that partnership is way easier. These challenges are split into 2 or more, and each person bears a portion of these challenges. Secondly, when you pool resources together, you're much more likely going to achieve. First, you have more resources. Secondly, you may achieve your goals faster. So do not undermine partnership. It's very important, and it takes nothing away. I'd rather earn a little and be consistent and stay afloat than try it and give it one shot and fail. That's one message we need to have at the back of our mind. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. A little about 30 seconds, well, thank you very much, sir. Just not too long. Okay, we have one about this is the last speaker we have for today. Mr. Emmanuel, please keep it to 30 seconds. Thank you for being here. You have the floor.
All right. So, can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I, my humble self, and my fellow Christ-like techies and the Christ-like techies community, we can help with some solutions regarding the problems in the Southeast and Enugu as well, given that most of us are from Enugu. Regarding when Chinyere Otonye was requesting for solutions, software solutions, and the affordability of them, we offer and contribute. We offer open source, free and open source software solutions, and contribute to them as well as a whole process of giving back to the community. And alongside this, we also mentor upcoming techies in the tech industry, the different roles and professions that exist. We offer mentorship whereby we take people from 0 to hero in whatever profession they choose. And that process also contributes to the open source solutions that we offer. In as much as they are learning, they are also contributing to open source projects as well. And from they are seeing publicly available open source contributions, it would help them secure employment from future companies that they would be working in the future when they'll get up to speed in their professional career. So also
Okay.
in
Okay.
regards to do I still have time?
I would like to rather say that because you did mention that in the chat, so I'm very much interested in what you mentioned, and I think I'm confident that it's very useful to what we're building. So I've taken your contact, and if you would permit me to do this, I'll chat you up immediately after the meeting. Does that work for you?
Oh, sure, no problem.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So, and of course, like Oga Dozier mentioned, I'm going to be reaching out to Green Age Tech. Chairman, I'll reach out to you. I will reach out to you. So all those government people that have their contacts are set to go. You have to help us out here. Because, sir. Am I permitted, sir? Okay, so silence is consent and not permitted. So over to Madam. Madam Chinyere, please.
Wow, thank you so much. Our guest speakers, I appreciate all you have shared here. Let me also mention that Aaron of Green Age Technology is one of the piloting members of our startup community in Enugu. So we have people who are well connected, who have experience, and who have that hunger for growth within the Enugu and Southeast. So we are also looking for more. That's why we're holding these programs and events, bringing on new people to get to know what we're doing and to see how we can also leverage their connections and networks and then partnerships with collaborations. So thank you so much, Kachi, for your time. And I hope your husband is still around. Oh,
He's
regards
still
to
here.
him. Okay, thank you, Michael. Thank you for your support because growing up amongst boys, I know the challenge. There's this intimidation we have as strong women, but the support I've had so far within the Enugu startup community is they believe in the strength of a woman, not just because you're a woman, but because you have something to offer, something beyond your femininity, and they have been lending support. The men behind me are so supportive and strong, and you can see some of them here today. So thank you to our participants for your time. I'm hoping that after this we'll upload this recording to our YouTube channel. Kotsi Izu, who's in charge of our tech support. And then let's see what we can bring out of this conversation, because it's not just all talk. We need to start doing. That's the difference between those who attended this program and those who learned their voice and not go back. So I'm hoping that moving on, we will not just kill this connection. Rather, we'll keep the flame burning and keep providing ideas, leveraging our networks to bring support to Enugu, especially. Yes, we're looking at Southeast, but charity begins at home. Where we dwell is where we want to see that change start. So thank you so much, Abia, for your time. I'm sorry network got the better of you, but in the end, our patience did pay off. So sorry about it. It's what we're facing here in Nigeria, and we're hoping. Yes, Starlink has come, but how many people can really afford it? Enugu has its peculiar terrains. I had a good network while I was in Abuja, but here they are not here because of our terrain. So there is a whole lot that digitalization can bring. The opportunities is beyond what we can imagine. And then when we now introduce AI, we have you people here, AI movements, and we're hoping that with the new interfaces coming up, people can leverage it to really bring out an indigenous solution to solve these teaching problems we have within the Southeast. So thank you, everyone. I know I should have the closing remark and all, Udoka, I still want to ask again if there is any other thing left.
Nothing, it's just a sign out. But I would like to send a reminder or a notification if you like, or an announcement. I'm like the town crier at the moment, okay? That this is our monthly event. We'll have it every month. We'll have another for March. We'll have another for April. And as the Spirit has led us to plan this together, we are having a pitch and exhibition in April. And Kachi,
Yes.
the Spirit touched her to have it at the same time. So you see, everything is working together for our good. The Bible is true, you know. So we're going to work together and have an exhibition in April. It probably should be hybrid so that we'll have it online too. And big guys like Abia, Barrister Abia can help us get the attention of those investors down there in the southwestern part for them to know down here we get real stuff. Okay. And then finally, well, of course, we'll have Green Age and every other network we have. And then finally, we want to say, please pardon us for taking so much time. It's not happening again. We'll try to keep it as much as we can within the time frame we mentioned, even if the extent is not past 10 minutes, not this round the cycle extension. Thank you. And thank you, Dozie, for coming up, man. We are happy for you to wholeheartedly with a smiling face. I say you're going to join hands with us and make this happen. Thanks to Abia. Abia, you're from Enugu State, you know, go option. Senior Council, Ejo. We'll work together. And then to our powerful woman, Kachi, who is always a present. I mean, we had an event, a conference last year. Kachi was a very huge supporter. She supported us and made it happen,
Yeah.
even though we told her under such a short notice. So thank you for always being around. And we know that action will make magic happen sooner than people will expect. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everyone,
Thank
and
you,
enjoy your
everyone.
week.
Thank you
Yes.
all.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Have a great day.
I know say some people must remain.